Hello there, this is Pastor Lance McCune.
And this is Rabbi Andrew Bloom of Congregation of Avat Shalom here in Fort Worth, Texas. Fort Worth is Cowtown, and we are
The Cowtown Clergy. We're coming today wanting to share a special message with you. Go ahead, Rabbi Bloom.
Yes, the message is one of condolences.
Right.
One of healing, one of outrage, and one of a call to action. And of course, we're talking about this time the shooting and the murder and the evil that took place in Minnesota against children who were attending school and prayer in church.
Yeah, and you know, in the last 5 years, we've had at least 3 Christian schools attacked where people have been shot and even have died, not even including all the attacks on Jewish synagogues.
Synagogues, schools, remember Washington, D.C., Yaron and Sarah Lynn, two engaged couple, two staffers of the Israeli embassy there were attacked and murdered. Everything going around the world is, at this point, it seems to be this anger is out there, this evil is out there, and unfortunately, instead of talking to prevent,
right,
all we're doing, and I'm not talking about you and me, but
right,
all society is doing is reacting after the fact, and we need to stop that.
And you have to understand there is a problem here. When you're seeing a consistency of attacks against the Judeo-Christian community, then there needs to be an active response, and we need to get involved. And how can we deal with these things, Rabbi Bloom?
I think there are a number of things we need to do. One as an entire community, we need to talk about mental health and how to get those who need help, the help they need. But I think on a communal level, we need to start the discussion of not how we put out fires, but how we prevent fires.
Right.
And in this case, is how do we harden, and I'm not talking about necessarily physically a building, but how do we harden or make stronger those connections between ourselves, between ourselves and our community leaders, whether it be within the law enforcement or within city government or state government. And I think it's essential also how we support our neighbor, not ignoring our neighbor, but embracing our neighbor, because as you know, it says, love thy neighbor as
thyself.
Exactly.
I had to, as a pastor, I had to live through the Wedgwood shooting, and that where many people were killed, just right over here, and it took years to recover from that. A community is affected when things like this happen. You can't get away from it. And we need to be more proactive in our response of how do we communicate with each other.
Right. We're sitting here talking about this tragedy instead of making a video welcoming kids back to school. And I think we need to bring the holiness of children back into the schools by ensuring
their safety
and their ability to learn. I mean, I've been sitting here and praying for the injured, praying for comfort for the families. We're both parents.
Right. Grandparent.
Who, I always knew you were older than me. who can even imagine or fathom sending their child to school?
Right, it touches your heart.
And this happening. So we need to ensure, and this is only one way, this should be a start for not only all of us here in Fort Worth or in Tarrant County or Parker County or wherever it may be, but a larger conversation as well as how we can all come together to ensure the safety of ourselves, our children, and all those who are good within our communities.
You know, that is a great idea. I would challenge those within law enforcement to reach out to faith-based leaders to come talk to the kids, come talk to the children, because they know what's going on. And I think it would be a great comfort if we saw more activities like that where our children could see the people that are out there that are good.
I without a doubt, that city leaders, I think we need to come together in small groups. in the past, some of our, our law enforcement have come to our Sunday schools to be with the kids and teach them what is going on. And so they feel safety. They know that they can go to an adult if they're scared instead of being scared of an adult. I think that needs to be the call to action for all of us now. I was listening to this morning on the radio, an eyewitness, an adult who lived across from the school, the church, and ran over to help some of the kids. And the individual said, they asked him, "What did you do?" He said, "The most important thing I did was a little girl asked to hold my hand."
Yes.
And it almost brought me to tears, because that's all we need to do, is to start reaching out to hold the hand in order to bring about the feeling, so this does not happen, so the hate is not there, because hate does not start at a age of 20 or 25. Of course, there's mental health, but hate starts at a younger age. And if we're there to hold the hand, metaphorically or in actuality, and say we're here because we care and others care about us, then I think these attacks, one, against the Judaic Christian communities, will end, and I think the larger connections within the community will grow.
I agree. Well, those of us from Fort Worth, Tarrant County, our hearts go out to all those that have gone through so much this last week, and actually the last several weeks after the floods and everything else that have taken place in Texas. So Rabbi Bloom, do me a favor. Close us out in a prayer for these folks, and we'll close her down.
I want to say a prayer. First, a prayer for those who were murdered. I can't even say passed away, because they were murdered. Exalted, compassionate God, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and pure. To the souls of those who were murdered in Minnesota for just going to school.
Yes.
Keep them in your eternal embrace. May they find perfect peace in your ways and in your light. May their souls be bound up the bond of life. May they rest in peace, and let us say amen. And for those wounded, whether it be physically, spiritually, psychologically, emotionally, may he who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bring blessing and healing to all those who are suffering.
Yes.
May God offer them health of mind, health of body, health of soul, and health of spirit. May God guide their doctors, nurses, and caregivers' hands to bring them to a full recovery. It may be with their family, their friends, and the entire community at this time. And let us say,
Amen. This is Pastor Lance.
Rabbi Andrew Bloom.
God bless.
Shalom.